Hello, guys. Welcome to Art Friends. We are friends who do art.
Wait, Opalia, I thought it was my turn to do the intro.
No,
It is his turn
It
to
is
do
my
the
turn to do the
intro.
intro.
not anymore.
Yes, it is.
Well, I just took over.
Damn.
Dang.
What did you get? Confidence.
So, Coda, what are we talking about today?
Wait, what's that, the intro? Are we just...
That wasn't the intro.
That was the
it?
intro. I have decided.
Alright.
Fine, it was the intro. Hello,
Well-
welcome to Art Friends, where we are friends who like art.
That was the intro. Does an intro.
I am Coda, and I am joined with my friends who like art.
Coen.
Opalia.
So, guys, we like to draw, right? We all draw things.
Yes.
At one point, you had to have started drawing. I was at once... I'll just get this out there. I was at one point not very good at drawing.
Dang, I would have never figured. Drawing works like you come out of the womb and then you instantly know how to do it right.
Yeah,
That's
and if
how
you
artists
don't, then
work.
you can never get good at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
that's how art works. You
That's
know?
how everything
It's definitely
works.
not a skill that you can develop and learn.
It is a talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't have talent, then you might as well just stop. Really, no point.
Honestly, if you do something and you're not instantly good at it, just stop.
Yeah,
Just
that's
die.
that's it. Like,
Opalia.
I mean, I was about to say something about breathing, but Opalia pretty much summarized it. So
Wow, okay.
that took a dark
This
turn.
episode started dark.
But yes, I think at one point we were all not good at art, surprise surprise. And then we all became better. Now, are we good? I don't know. But we're better than we were.
Talk for yourself. I'm a pro. No. But to be a pro, you have to know how to do perspective. And that's what we are talking about. Why I hate perspective.
Another Opalia rant episode. Let's get right into it. But in reality, I think more of the subject for today is how did we go from not good to okay, he knows a thing. How did we get better? How did we improve? And what could we have done differently to have improved faster, more efficiently? You know, I guess summarize it. What did we wish we knew when we had first started drawing?
Hey! You just said the title thing.
Did Fat Albert just enter the chat?
I think so. I have no idea who that is. I'm gonna be
Fat
honest.
Albert? Hey. Also Fluttershy from .mov.
Who is
Yes.
Fat Albert?
He's fat and his name is Albert.
I think he just summarized American culture.
That's mean.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's rough. Just recent. I've been drawing for like 5 years intensively, and only in the past like year have I actually been improving steadily. Like the first 4 years, I was just kind of doing it, you know. And so, what do I wish I knew in those first 4 years that would have made those 4 years as productive as this most recent one? And what if I would have been being extremely productive that entire time, I could have been amazing. But no, my teenage self had to be like, yeah, let's just draw the same thing over and over again.
But Coda, you're getting ahead of yourself. First, we're going to talk about the things we, in particular, focused on early on, starting with Coda. What did you do early on?
What did I do early on? I think everyone started drawing because they found something they liked and then just did that thing they liked a bunch. And for me, that was cartoons like on the television, and it was faces, expressions. And so I used to draw a lot of faces, and I didn't know how to draw anything else. Like I didn't know how to draw the human body. And so what I would draw a lot were these like human faces on just random stuff. I'd have a human face with a giraffe neck and a horse body, you know, a human face with a plant body, a human face dangling from a tree, you know, whatever. Just these weird places, heads where heads shouldn't be, basically, is what I drew a lot as a kid.
Why is there a head in my soup, Ober?
Waiter, There's a human head inside of my soup. I did not order a human head inside of this soup.
I forgot that there's an English word for Ober, which is waiter. So, Opalia, what did you do early on?
At first, I actually just traced from an art book, as I told in the first episode.
Mhm.
But afterwards, I was like, you know what? What if I do those drawings, but without tracing? And the first things I drew were cats, anime girls, and anime girls. No, but I mostly drew girls and like cute animals, like cutified animals. Oh, and I drew Pokemon very early on.
Really?
Just remembered that.
Doesn't that fall under cutified animals?
Have you ever seen Hypno? Look at the last episode, guys.
Wink, wink.
Wink,
Hint,
hint, nod.
You see, this is a podcast, so we can't actually wink. We have to say what we are doing out loud.
Thumbs up.
Agreement?
Nod.
And Coen, you just drew anything.
That's what I want you to believe, which is not the case. In fact, I recently did research somewhat. I jumped in my pile of old stuff, and it's mostly just monsters and fantasy stuff, really. Like dragons, dinosaurs, fun stuff. Sometimes I'd dabble in like cool mechs and vehicle designs. Then I'd go back to monsters, because monsters are cool, and I like them.
Yay.
I never really got any motivation to draw like human faces, so I'd always have stick figures in these big mechs, you know?
Right.
And that's biting me in the ass right now, Jesus. But we'll talk about that later.
I am noticing a pattern. We all just drew like 2 things, and then we just drew them over and over again.
Yeah, basically. But like with variations and
Yeah,
stuff.
with slight variations, different enough to where it felt like different things.
This face isn't on a chicken body, it's on a goose body. Except I draw goose and chickens identically.
That
so
is
it doesn't matter.
shockingly accurate. That is
You are welcome.
upsettingly true to how I used to draw.
Yeah, what the hell? I always learned how to draw roses because I thought they were pretty.
Roses are beautiful, especially in drawings. Like tattoo-style roses.
What even are flowers?
Coda and I are
But
like,
Coda,
yes, flowers, they're pretty.
You've
And
been
Coda's
dancing
like,
around it, but what did you miss early on? Or like stuff that others would draw a lot, but you didn't, really?
Oh, hair. I never drew hair, and I still don't know how to
Hair.
draw hair good. And it's still
Me neither.
hate it every single time I have to draw hair. I watched like one Proco video on it 3 years ago, and that's like most of my hair knowledge.
I was like about to watch that one before we start recording.
Opalia draws a lot of hair though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot.
because I saw like very pretty anime hair, and I was like, I want to draw pretty anime hair.
It
So I
intimidates
learned
me.
it over and over and over again.
Nice. So you did a lot of bodies, a lot of cute faces, a lot of cute animals, and a lot of hair.
Perspective, landscapes, backgrounds,
Oh,
pretty much the
backgrounds.
thing
I'm
that
getting better at it, but oof.
I am so bad at backgrounds still, but I'm kind of getting myself to do them, especially now in mermaids, and it's important.
Yes, so I think we all 3 missed out on backgrounds a lot.
I mean, doesn't everyone in the beginning?
Not everyone, but most people, because humans
Most
are what
people, yeah.
people want to draw, because that's what they see the most. Also, they're the easiest thing to get right, because people can recognize 2 dots in a line as a face, so it's really easy to draw a human and have it recognizable as a human. So that's what a lot of people start off with, but I have seen people who start by drawing vehicles or backgrounds, and then they're like, how does one anatomy?
That's
Freaking
true.
11-year-olds flexing on me. Shakes fist.
What about you, Coen? What did people draw a lot that you think you missed out on? It's coming to bite you in the butt.
Faces. Faces. Every time I draw a face nowadays, it looks uncanny and like uninformed, because I used to, as I said earlier, I just drew stick figures in mechs or stick figures being chased by monsters. I did have fun, with those stick figures and trying to give them poses and energy and
Well, Coen,
gesture. Except I didn't know what those meant, so they were just squiggly lines.
I guess you have to face your fears and draw more of them.
Gosh darn it. That was a good pun.
It wasn't.
Oh, I have a headache after that. No.
You please don't get depressed, thanks.
So I mostly missed out on like drawing of humans, more specifically like hair, probably eyes in a way. And I did not know animal anatomy really, so the creatures I was drawing were just shapes with claws, really. And yeah, I of course missed out on all the basics, like perspective.
Yeah, I feel like we all missed out on backgrounds and fundamentals, which I think it's because backgrounds take more knowledge of fundamentals to actually get right.
The problem is, even though it's in their name, they are no fun.
Damn.
Dang.
That's subjective. I like.
It is subjective, but it is deep.
My subjection is it's bad. It's annoying. Limo.
Subjection.
I was about to say.
Wait, does it have a different meaning in English?
My subjection.
Subjection
is when you subject something to someone. Someone is subjected to something.
So I was right.
No. What would you guys have done differently? Since we all agree that we were kind of left behind on certain aspects, like now since I never practice hair, now I hate drawing hair and it's really difficult. And same with backgrounds. What would you guys have done differently in order to not have things like that just loom over you as I can't draw this?
I wouldn't have started drawing.
That's depressing.
Opalia, don't be discouraging.
Not gonna lie.
Don't be discouraging.
No, I would have listened to older people telling me to do all the fundamentals. They all were like, do the fundamentals and thank me later, because you will actually need them. And I was like, no, you can't tell me what to do. So I wish I was less stubborn and would have done a little bit more to practice.
Fundamentals.
I think I would have actually tried learning. For about 4 years, I thought, hey, if I draw a bunch of hands, I will inherently get better at drawing hands, which isn't true. The whole point of drawing a bunch of hands is learning how to draw hands, right? So it's just like plugging numbers into a math formula versus trying to understand that formula. So if you try, I think consciously trying to learn is something I was missing out on big time. Just even if it's not the fundamentals, like it doesn't matter what you're trying to learn. But instead of just drawing it over and over again, every time you draw something, even if be it the same thing a bunch of times, really try learning something about it every time, and really try thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah. As for myself, in the beginning when I was just drawing as a kid, I wouldn't necessarily tell myself to just go do perspective. It'll
Also
help you
true.
later on. Because in the beginning, you really want yourself to just have fun with it and get attached to it so you can never stop.
I think that's good,
It's a trap.
honestly. I think for a bit, it's good to just have fun with it and get used to it and just try to understand the motions and get your hand used to drawing before you start getting into actually technically learning it. But I feel like people get too comfortable and then stay in that comfort zone that you should only spend like a month or two at for years.
Honestly, that's something that I miss from my 2017 self. In that year, I actually drew everything. Like, I tried everything. I tried to draw boys, I tried to do backgrounds, I tried to do different perspectives, I tried to add in photos as backgrounds, like stuff like that. And I also tried different lighting sources. And I kind of actually, I don't mind that I started like with only hair, fashion, and characters, female characters mostly, when I was younger, because now that's what I want to do professionally, you know? So I
Nice.
think it's good to first get the thing that you like to a point where you know that you're comfortable with it, and then start fanning out the things you want to do. Like maybe try some perspective studies, maybe try this and that. And if you don't know how to do perspective, hi, you're me.
I think you're right, and I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that it's fine to draw the same thing a bunch. It's just really think about what you're doing and why you're doing it, you know? If you draw a bunch of cute girls, think about, all right, how am I drawing these cute girls, and how could I make them cuter? How could I make them girlier? How could I, like, push yourself if you're going to draw the same thing?
Yeah, like I wanted to finish my thought a few TED Talks ago. I
Yes.
would, in the beginning, I would let myself just have fun drawing and grow an addiction for it. But then later on, I think it's important to just start experimenting more, start learning the basics, because you can use those basics to do fun stuff. And who doesn't like fun stuff?
Yes. I think the
That's
order
true.
should go fun, basics, fun. You start having fun, introducing yourself to the idea of drawing, learn the basics, and then you can have even more fun.
And it's an endless cycle.
Yep.
Fun basics, fun basics, fun basics, fun basics, fun basics, fun
But
basics.
guys, someone who is very dear to me only did fundamentals for such a long time that she is now having a lot of troubles with getting something else done besides fundamentals. Like full drawings are hard for her, and I think
Yeah, she studied, she didn't illustrate.
yeah,
I think
exactly.
she got the cycle wrong. I think instead of fun and then fundamentals and then fun again, she just thought the second one was dementals. So it was constantly like fundamentals, 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 fundamentals.
Deep.
The more you say dementals, it sounds like dementors, and then we are at Harry
Dementors.
Potter.
Harry
And
Potter
I don't think Harry
flashbacks.
Potter is a topic we should talk about at the moment.
I mean, you mentioned it.
No.
What you just said reminded me of this thing, and I don't know if I want to bring up this thing that I just brought up.
Opalia, continue your thought.
Yeah.
The thing is, the dog is loud.
The thing is,
Joy.
The thing is, now
Dog.
hear me out. The dog is loud.
dog.
Always remember, if you think that while you're drawing something and you're having troubles with something and you're like, God damn it, I have to do the fundamentals first and learn how to draw a shoulder before I can finish this drawing. Stop that. Continue the drawing, finish it. Then
And-
you study the shoulder. Don't do it in the middle, because you will never get a drawing done if you are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, finished, not perfect is a Jake Parker quote, I believe. Finish something, even if it's bad, even if it's not perfect, it's finished. Then you can go back and fix everything in the next drawing.
I have also seen people do a method where they just do like big illustrations one after another without much studying in between. And the way they can do that is whenever they start a full illustration, they just sketch the entire thing out, maybe do some color keys or whatever. But then they do some studies, for example, of a shoulder or of cool warm contrast or whatever. And then they incorporate it into that piece and they use it as like field experiments instead of just tiny little studies everywhere.
Right, hands-on learning approach. Which I think
Yeah.
is another thing, is everyone's going to learn differently. So if you're a hands-on learner of, I need to draw and not study, and that's how I learn, still study a bit, but really do it less if that's not how you learn, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone learns differently.
With some people like Coda, it's just like perspective, form, I can do this stuff now, I am epic. And with Opalia, it's just like, I can do this stuff now, epic.
Yeah, Opalia has a very good intuitive sense of where things go naturally, you know, like perspective wise. She didn't need to even study, and she was just like, yeah, I can do it.
Every time I study, it gets worse. It's like, studying is a...
Damn, that's not a good thing to quote. Coda, cut it out.
It's not. I'm just gonna
Okay, no.
beep it out.
Studying is a
Guys, I don't know if you've watched that one video from Jazza where he was like talking about how he learns. Like he has to just do it to learn it, and he can't do things when reading instructions. It's similar to me, like if I get instructed with how to draw a shoulder. If I get the instructions, I stop listening and I'm just not learning it. But if I do it myself, intuitive, like looking at a shoulder and then drawing it, it gets much better than if someone told me how to learn it or if I would read it how to learn it.
I think that's where the fun basics, fun study comes in. And that's with draw it, then see what you did wrong, study how to do it right, draw a new drawing with that new information, see what you did wrong, study how to do it right, so on and so forth. And I feel like it's much easier to learn by, let's take your shoulder example. I draw a shoulder incorrectly, and I'm like, man, that looks weird. And then I look it up, and I'm like, oh, that's what I should have done. I feel like that's much easier than just Googling how to draw a shoulder. Okay, that's what I will do. Because then you forget. When you say that's what I should have done, I feel I just, it's so much easier to remember and to incorporate in the drawings, and that's what I will do for me.
And that also factors into self-critique and getting critiqued by other people, because then you know your weaknesses and then you know what you should focus on. Did I just break this? Or no, it just clipped. Nice.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, did I just break this case wide open? I think I just fixed studying.
I cracked the case, everyone. I am now God.
Dang.
So, we've talked a lot about the elusive fundamentals. Ooh, scary.
Ooh.
But when I was first starting out, I didn't understand what the fundamentals were. I was just like, I heard these people saying, yes, you should draw circles and then shade it like this. I was like, okay, but why? And then I saw people saying, draw a bunch of squares and cubes, and then you will be good. And I was like, why? I didn't understand what they were or why I should do them. So, what do you guys think the fundamentals are? What do you guys think they are, and why do you think you should do them?
Okay, so the fundamentals are, in my eyes, color theory, perspective, form studies, anatomy.
I don't even think anatomy is a fundamental, in my opinion. I think it's an add-on.
It's a fundamental, but to a lesser extent, because you can use it for both animals and
I know
humans.
the last one. Composition was the last one.
Composition is more of a soft skill, not a fundamental necessarily, but it is very important.
It's my personal way of...
Well, if you're a vehicle designer, anatomy is not a fundamental. You don't need to learn anatomy if you're a vehicle designer, you know? But there's certain things that you need to know to draw anything and everything.
Yeah, I feel like there's a distinction between the fundamentals and the things that are most important to learn, because composition doesn't necessarily fall under fundamentals, in my opinion. It's more of a soft skill and doesn't fall under draftsmanship that much, but it is extremely important.
Because we just roasted. We just said, nah, that's wrong. Like, why do you think anatomy and composition and color theory would all fall in under fundamentals?
Okay, I think it's more the fundamentals of an illustrator. Like, I sometimes am, not all the time, more like when Mermaid is. The thing is, for illustrations, composition is very important to make a drawing look very good. Like, you can't put two pink things next to each other if you want both of them to stand out, stuff like that. Then anatomy is important because, like, if you draw humans or animals or cars, everything has an anatomy. I never said that it's human anatomy. I just said anatomy. Like, if you want to draw cars, maybe learn what is inside that car. How is the car built?
So you just mean understand the subject matter you're drawing, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fundamental of, if you're going to draw something, understand it.
In my opinion, the list is just three things, which is structure, perspective, and form. Those are all very linked with each other.
Structure and form are the same.
No, they're not. Very different. Very different. Anyhow.
Where's the difference?
Form is more like making something three-dimensional, and structure is understanding the three-dimensionality of the specific thing, like how it attaches to one thing, how it works together in a way.
But then structure is just perspective and form.
It is not. Perspective is how things get pulled back in space.
As I said, you need perspective to understand form, and you need structure to understand form. You need form to understand perspective well. You need structure to understand form well. I already said that one, but doesn't matter. Basically,
you need all of them to understand
yep,
all of them.
basically
I don't
summarized.
even understand the perspective and I learn it.
That's
even
fine.
with form and
That
structure.
works. I feel like you might have learned it subconsciously then by just drawing bodies and just picking up on that things get closer and bigger in a way, like subconsciously, and it's just built into your huge pile of intuition. Basically, I consider only those three fundamentals because I consider fundamentals those that you need, like literally as a foundation to draw anything. And in my opinion, the way I like to classify it is that stuff like color theory and composition is like extremely important, and you might consider it as like so important you want to call it a fundamental. But for me, like a black and white artist isn't going to have much use out of color theory. Still, I guess values exist. That's how I think of it, at least. Not sure if I explained it well.
I like to look at it like this. We're talking about drawing. What are the fundamentals of drawing a picture, right? If we added values, that'd be painting. We added anatomy, that'd be drawing specific things. And if we added, it's the same thing as saying, well, the 12 principles of animation. Well, that refers to animating, which is a form of drawing, but it is not the base of drawing like we were talking about. So, I think for the base of drawing, to draw anything, you need to understand form. I'm gonna take your list, Coen, and I'm gonna tag on gesture. Gesture, movement. They kind of fall under the same thing.
Now I feel bad. I totally missed gesture and energy.
Same here.
Gosh dang it.
Well, since you guys did a good job of going over the things that you went over, I'm going to go over gesture briefly, which gesture is just capturing motion. It's having a flow throughout the image. An S is a gesture.
Energy.
It's an energy. It's like, for example, if I were to be jumping as high as I possibly could, my arms would be up and my chest would be out and my entire body, my legs would be bent back and my entire body would have this C shape to it. That would be the gesture, the flow with this C shape from one end to another.
Yeah, but everyone, don't get fooled. Gesture isn't just for humans. You also need to use for objects, for example.
Oh, it can be in composition and everything.
If you look at a spoon, it's basically just a gesture with a tip on top, really. And that's how you eat soup.
No. I eat soups with chopsticks.
Legend.
Just see me eat every water droplet with like chopsticks.
Yes, you're just eating the soup with chopsticks, and then we're like, Opalia, that's not gonna... And then you just show us the empty bowl.
And you're still like half full.
Damn.
That's how art works.
But in reality, though, I do eat soup with a fork.
Oh, I didn't joke around. I actually eat soup with chopsticks.
You guys are freaking flexing on me.
Ha, spoon user.
I just eat the bowl.
I just eat the bowl. Do you guys eat your soup with or without the shell?
Yes.
That's unsettling.
Very much so. But Coda, continue.
It's more cursed than anything.
Yay.
I was gonna say gesture can be literally anything, from an entire image having a gesture. If a character is sitting nuzzled in a tree branch, and that tree branch is pointing upward, that can be a C shape from the trunk to the branch and how the character's legs are pointing.
Wait.
But then gesture also is like flow, in a way.
Wait, Coen.
Yes, Opalia.
Nuzzling a tree branch is more like an animal thing. Animals. Coda.
Huh.
Opalia, did you hear nuzzling? I think you're a furry.
Imagine we're both furries and are just like closet furries.
I feel like we're both closet furries and we're just violently trying to push the other one out the closet.
I just both think we are furries.
Well, this, listeners, is an uncomfortable situation for Coen.
Because he's the OG closet
Coen
furry.
is desperately trying to keep the closet doors shut.
I barricaded
I
them.
mean, you're also from Europe.
I feel like Coen is keeping the closet door shut, and then he sees a pair of claws come through the door, and he's like, "It's too late."
Ah, frick.
That's
Ah,
actually
shucks. I can see the whiskers.
So I think we can settle on the basic fundamentals for drawing anything being perspective, form, gesture, and structure. Of course, there's ones like shape and all that good stuff, but that comes.
I mean,
a
that
bit
falls
later.
under form.
Yeah, that comes a little bit later, I think.
Like,
really
I feel
delving
like
into shape and all that.
I feel like
Coda.
a lot of these concepts are very interconnected, and you could confuse them for each other. So, like, gesture could be interpreted as flow in a way.
I think gesture like almost is flow.
I know, right? It's
I
creepy.
I still won't fully understand the difference if there is one. Now, why do you guys think the fundamentals are important? Or why don't you think? Why do you think maybe you think you don't need the fundamentals?
Yeah, you know what a fun thing to talk about is that Opalia hasn't touched the fundamentals that much as other people of her skill level would. Like, she's in the top 2 artists of the 3 of us here, you know? So,
Coen,
like, how...
stop. We don't have levels. We have layers. No.
Opalia, layers are inherently leveled.
Yes, but what if we are on the same layer?
Then what would be the point for the other layers?
That would be chaos.
They keep us warm.
Fair enough.
Layers are blankets. Wear your seatbelts and be warm.
I don't know where that came from, but thank you.
It didn't come from anywhere besides my brain.
It didn't came from anywhere.
I think my lung just broke.
But yeah, Opalia really hasn't touched the fundamentals that much. She's kind of gone off intuition and just figuring things out as she goes. But yet, you are very good at drawing. Like, you make great drawings. What was your experience like with that, just learning intuitively?
Honestly, most of the time I thought, man, I suck.
Damn.
When you don't learn fundamentals, and that's something I always curse about, like, I'm like, God damn it, I should have learned this, is I just sometimes really don't know how to anatomy, and then I'm annoyed because I could have learned it. But then I'm annoyed at myself because I know that I wouldn't do anatomy for like 5 years, and I would only do like 1 page until I'm annoyed at it. Yeah, sometimes it's annoying, and also when I want to do something in perspective and it is not correct perspective, I'm just like, damn it, that sucks. But instead of being like, I guess I should do the fundamentals and learn some perspective, I'm like, next time. The thing is, the way I learn is illustration for illustration. So I try something, then the next illustration I try it again and do it better, hopefully, until I get better.
Right. So you don't fully understand what you're doing, you just do it, and it's right. Opalia is living proof that while the fundamentals are incredibly useful, you can still get by without them.
Still, it's
Like-
going to bite you in the ass later.
It is, because drawings can take an absurd amount longer if you don't understand the fundamentals.
Yeah, I've also noticed that knowing the fundamentals speeds me up a lot. I did, like, a fun fact, Coda's the one that had to explain to me 3 points because I was too baby brain to understand it. But I did I did some 3-point drawing on my own, and I drew a bit more than usual today, and I spent about the same amount of time on it. So I think it really speeds you up.
Mhm.
Fun.
But also, like, if you study something and you have to repeat it, maybe don't repeat it in the same pose, repeat it from different angles, and if you are annoyed at it, just do the next best thing. Like, if you learn the shoulders and you're annoyed from shoulders, then learn elbows. If you're annoyed from the elbows, learn hands. Then cry. Eat a cake. Learn hands again. Stop it. Go back to shoulders. Cry. Now be happy. Good job. You done did it.
Detailed
Good job.
instructions.
That's definitely not how I do it.
Oh, I did every part of that except for the shoulders part. So let's go.
But how do you guys do it?
Why do I think you need fundamentals? Because if you know the fundamentals, then you can draw anything and everything, right? If you understand how perspective works, if you understand how form works, if you understand how all of it works perfectly, then all you gotta do to draw a human is say, okay, this is the shape of a human. Now I can draw a human in any perspective. Okay, this is the shape of a car. Now I can draw a car from any angle, doing anything, because I know how to turn this, so once I learn what it looks like turned, I can turn it any direction I want.
But don't make the mistake that if you know how to draw boxes in perspective and you have drawn the car from side profile once, that you'll be able to do like Kim Jeonggi cars from the side, bottom, top left. You know?
Who's that?
Good question. I don't know. Never heard of him.
Opalia, did you say who Kim Jong? We've explained to you who Kim Jong-gi is like
Twice.
multiple times.
Really?
He's the one who is a master of the basics and can draw anything without even sketching it.
He done did it.
That pretty much explains every artist that is like at that level.
Yeah, but he does it like
He is the best,
good.
though. He is the,
He
he is
does
the
it
best
good.
in the world.
he done did it good.
I feel bad if I say that I forgot about him.
But he's living proof of what I was saying, you know? He understands perspective, form, gesture, all of it. He understands design, he understands shapes, he understands all the basics that you could ever understand. And now he can draw literally anything from literally any angle.
And he has drawn everything from literally any angle.
Yeah, go search Kim Jong-gi and you'll see he
but guys-
has drawn almost everything.
But guys,
Yes, Opalia.
I think, no offense to him because I don't know him and I don't want to be mean, art that is like as good as it is from him, like very good anatomy, very good perspective, stuff like that. It's missing character.
Oh no,
He got
he
that
has
covered.
all the
Dude.
character.
No, for me personally, his art is missing personality. Like, it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. But I could watch him draw 2 times until I get bored and want to watch, I don't know, some My Little Pony, because
I'd argue
who
against
doesn't
that.
like pastel-colored ponies with
I'll
big
do that
eyes?
in a bit.
So what you're saying is once people get good enough, their art loses character?
Kind of. Like, if you have only fundamentals in your mind, there's like something missing.
Right, if you have only fundamentals, if you only draw boxes, if you only draw spheres and faces from 3/4 downward perspective, whatever, then it does get stale. But if you understand the basics and gesture and everything, then it opens up a door to be even more creative and expressive because you can literally draw anything you want to express. You're not limited by anything.
And
But-
I would argue against Kim Jong-gi not having character. He has character and he has his style. Like, he could do...
I mean, the person himself might have character, but I don't see his art having character.
He has his character. He has his style. The thing that's just most admirable about him is that he can just do the fundamentals and he has mastered them in a way not many people on planet Earth have. So that's the most admirable thing about him. But in the end, people are going to care more about how a thing looks in the end rather than how impressive it was to draw to begin with. So really, style is also a very important thing.
Opalia is half right, and Coen is, and I am half right. I think what Opalia is saying is it's not all about how impressive and how technical your art is. It's about the character and the idea you wanted to get across. But I think I agree with her where she's saying if you're this good, you inherently have lost character, which is not true. But if you're that good, you can lose character. It's possible. But Kim Jong-gi has not lost character.
When you're a beginner and you're trying to study fundamentals, the last thing that should be in your mind is, oh, this is going to make me less creative. Because that's just bonkers.
Diversity is very important. Like, if you want to draw bodies, draw different types of bodies. Draw them long, draw them short, draw them thick, draw them thin. draw them triangular, draw them rounded, Just if you study something, keep it diverse.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
diversity makes beautiful, even on humans.
That's why I'm so glad race exists. It would be boring if all the people look the same.
It would be.
Yes.
My closing remark will be, I see you, not studying form. Do it.
I think we covered a good bit of ground in this. What do I think were kind of the main points? Don't stay in your comfort zone for too long. Of course, it's good to, when you're first starting out, to just have fun for a bit, but alternate. Have fun and then study, and then go back to having fun with the newfound knowledge, and then study, and then go have more fun with that newfound knowledge, and keep doing this cycle until eventually you die, and then.
Well, that took a dark turn very quickly.
Life is dark, but one thing that's certain is that we all will die. Amen.
Thanks, Opalia.
Cut this out because it's depressing.
Do you need to study? Well, it will help you. It will help you draw faster, draw better, draw what you want to draw. It's like a language. How I like to look at it. If someone asked you express your current opinions on the world in Spanish right now, and you don't speak Spanish, you would have no idea what to do. But learning the fundamentals is almost like learning the language. It's learning how to express yourself better and more efficiently and faster, to where you don't have to use Google Translate for everything.
You guys know that I never learned how to talk English, right? I'm doing this intuitively.
This is just a text to voice that Opalia is constantly putting text through Google Translate into.
Yeah, this isn't actually your voice.
Yes, I'm actually Google Translate. Anyways, no, I actually never learned English in like the normal way. I just watched a lot of shows with German subtitles, and I kind of got used to those words being the same as the German ones.
Exactly. Everyone has a different way of learning, so don't think you need to learn like everyone else.
For me, it's the same for Opalia, but I still get my ass kicked in English class, so I kick my own ass and learn grammar. So now I don't make as much grammatical mistakes anymore, which is nice.
As much. Anyways,
Gosh darn it.
what I want to say, fundamentals are important, studying is important, but don't be discouraged if you feel like studying isn't helping you. Most of the time, it's helping you in a different way. And if you are more of an intuitive artist,
And it's just whatever works for you. There's no way to test it. Just keep doing what works for you to what you're learning. But even so, like we said, if you feel like you can express your opinions adequately in this different language, just like the Spanish and politics analogy, then go for it. Art's all about expression. So if you feel like you don't have to study and you're happy with your skill level, and you don't feel like you want to get a job in the industry where you need to have the fundamentals down, then I don't worry about it, honestly. If you're happy with where you're at. Just worry about expressing yourself. Now, if you do want to get better, don't lose that expression. I think Opalia was saying that you could potentially, if you focus so much on studying, so much, I'm going to draw boxes from every angle, I'm going to draw this with perfect shading every time, you can lose that expression and that emotion that goes into it because you're so focused on drawing that you forget that you're supposed to be drawing things that mean something. Keep both. Focus on maintaining that original creativity and stuff and emotion while also trying to figure out how to express it better.
yes. But Coda, another thing is people like mistakes. Like, mistakes are great, and they should be made. Mistakes have to be made, and people, if they see mistakes, they can say, ha, I know what they did wrong, and that's beautiful.
It is, but also at the same time, that's not an excuse, I think, for why someone should make mistakes.
Yeah, but if you do one, don't be discouraged, because we all
never.
make mistakes.
Never. Kim Jeonggi makes mistakes, and I consider him to be the best artist when it comes to drawing, best drawer in the world.
Yeah, he isn't Superman. He's still a guy. He still has hands.
I know, but if he makes mistakes, that makes him human in my eyes. Because then I know.
He does make mistakes. He makes quite a bit. It's just he's so confident in himself and in what he draws that people forget to actually look for mistakes. They're like, wow, that's perfect, when really it's not.
We never said he's perfect. He's just the freaking best. And hey, if the best isn't perfect, why should you be? Just be the best version of yourself.
You can find for gesture drawings of humans, their line of action websites like that.
Oh, I love that one.
It's very good. For color theory, just look at the color wheel, maybe read a little bit about it. Just go on Google, search what in the world is color theory and how do I do it.
Yeah, that's a great thing. That could be said for everything. If you don't know how to do something, go to YouTube and search the thing, and tutorials on how to do it will come up.
And maybe we will do a video about digital art, because many people have still questions about it.
Yes, I feel like we could dive into an episode for each of these fundamentals, really. Each of them deserve an hour-long discussion.
Oh god, that would be so boring. Intuitive artist here, hi.
But I think just keep in mind that you're learning, you know? Try to do new things and keep in mind the fact that when you're drawing, you should be thinking about it and learning rather than just doing it, you know? Like, even if it's not inherently studying, even if you're just drawing a pose and you didn't like it, well, why didn't I like it? What could I do to make it better? You know, ask yourself questions.
Self-critique.
And don't forget, perfect is nice, but perfect is also not personal. I don't know. I kind
Perfect
of
is
tried to make it
Impossible.
Perfect is impossible
perfect
and
is impossible.
boring.
Yeah. Like, have you seen those videos of people taking a celebrity and putting them into this grid of a perfect face shape? They are just losing all of what makes them human in my eyes. And it's so boring. Not hating on perfectly shaped people.
People work for years, train to get the body they are happy with, to get a body they consider perfect.
I think actually
Opalia.
everybody is beautiful. I just think that bodies that are made into this perfect grid of everything has to be symmetrical are kind of...
Except for Chris Hemsworth. He just looks like that.
Who's that?
The actor who plays Thor.
Ah, okay, thanks.
Yeah, he's just the hottest man alive. Except for Dan Avedon. Except for Dan Avedon.
You forgot Mika.
And Mika. Ooh, man.
Who's that?
Too many hot guys. Too many hot guys.
Coda, we are coming out of the closet right now.
But before we wrap up this episode, just like art, yourself can be pretty the way you are. You don't have to be the one cookie cutter way everybody wants you to be.
Yeah.
I'm again going off topic, but I kind of feel like this is inspirational. I got feedback. People like it.
Yay.
Inspirational Opalia moments.
Guys, if you liked
No.
it, please hit a like. If you
people-
loved it, please subscribe.
Wait, I did the intro this time. I need to do the outro. No, I did.
No,
You
I
stole my intro.
Now she's stealing the outro too.
Go to episode 2. We know that stealing is good.
Oh. Well. Man, you just did the Uno skip card. I will do the outro because I need to do something. So, yay. It is the end of the episode. That was Art Friends talking about how to learn, if you should learn the fundamentals, if so, how to do it. Thank you everybody for watching, listening, whatever you might have done. Maybe both simultaneously, who knows. If you enjoyed the episode, we have new episodes coming out every Friday, so do whatever you need to do to catch those every Friday.
Subscribe.
You know
Subscribe.
the drill. Alright, we will see you in the next episode of Art Friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. But please
Let's get a
delete
one
that
taker.
chip bag from existence.
Opalia, just eat the chip bag if you have to. You just need to get rid of it.
The entire thing.
Sure, let me just... I'm gonna wirklich really essen.
Fantastic.
Oh damn, I
Yeehaw.
just ate a chip bag. Literally.
Good job. You've done it.